Software license and terms of use agreements. Software license agreements. So software products usually have some kind of license agreement, or what they call end user license agreements, which specify how a user, a person or organization, or maybe even a robot may or may not use a particular software product created by another person or organization. It specifies how many users or customers can install it, for example, the duration of services or updates, or the ability to copy, modify, or redistribute, or the details on pricing and licensing fee, and so on and so on. And this helps enforcement of copyright law because it applies copyright laws, and it establishes how a person may use a particular product that has been created by another person or organization. You can see what these look like, or you can copy what a software license agreement should look like from standards of contracts that are available online. So if you want to see what one looks like, or if you need to create one for yourself, you can check out some of these websites that have templates for them. Software license agreements contracts are often shown to user in digital form during installation of software. And so once you install this, you download the software, you put it in your computer somehow, and then usually there's going to be an agreement there, which you're probably not going to read. And sometimes actually the agreement you can only see after you purchase the software, you open the box, and then the agreement is there. So you already had to accept it because you already bought the item. But let's recall that in business to business and government to business contexts, they may use especially contextually drafted contracts and warranties that are specific to those particular purchase and service delivery. EULA and user license agreements may assert liability limitations given wrong or faulty use of the software, and prohibit actions such as reverse engineering the programs. And they create many more kind of liability limitations for the product creators, and create all other kinds of restrictions as well. There are generally two common types of license agreements. So there's free software license agreements or other Creative Commons license software, which are you kind of use at your own risk, and there is no you're not paying a fee for it, so they are usually used as is, and there's certainly very limited liability that those products create. Now there's also shrink wrap or click wrap licenses, which are licenses shown to user or the customer after purchase of product, as we were mentioning. So if you buy a product, there's probably going to be a license agreement there that you need to you need to open the software first and then see and check it out what the license agreement is. In a 2010 study of 260 consumer software license agreements, researchers found that 91% disclaimed warranties of fitness for purpose, or said it was as is. So they kind of maybe all or most of them use this kind of language just to remove liability for the wrong use. 92% disclaimed several types of damages. 69% did not warrant the software was free of defects or would work as described in the manual. So 69% did not warrant the software was free of defects. They did not say we ensure or guarantee the software is free of defects. 55% capped damages as at the purchase price or less. 17% required the customer to pay legal bills of the maker, so indemnify, but not vice versa. Terms of use or terms and conditions are a type of user and user license agreement more focused on continuous services rather than retention of a product. And these are very common in e-commerce sites, social media sites, transportation services. You're often just clicking on them, accepting the terms of conditions without reading these, but they establish all kinds of often difficult to interpret and understand legal, contractual rights and limitations that may be more or less good for the consumer themselves. Researchers in England in 2010, this is a different study, but found that among cloud computing service companies, terms of services, including Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and others, out of 31 total, seven impose arbitration, all forbid illegal and objectionable conduct by the consumer. Okay, that's expected. 13 can amend terms by posting changes to their own website. So kind of like a third of them can just change the terms of service at any point in time. It's kind of interesting, right? Most promise to preserve data only briefly after terminating service, but very few promise to delete the data thoroughly when the customer leaves. Some monitor the customer's data to enforce their policies on use. All disclaim warranties and almost all disclaim liability. 24 require the customer to indemnify them. A few indemnify the customer, that is, protect against hurt. So those are some of the characteristics of the terms of service agreements of cloud computing service and other similar kinds of institutions as well. Next, we'll talk about data privacy laws.